What is going on, guys? Nathan here with a Magic the Gathering video, and in this video I will kind of explain and demonstrate how to play Horde Magic, a sort of cooperative game mode of Magic the Gathering in which you and possibly your friends, which I would suggest playing with your friends, actually battle against a zombie token deck, which is what I have right here. Obviously they're not all zombies, as you can see by the different colors, but you know, just tokens that are actually add a little bit of variety, such as like I have some like white spirit flyers, for example, this one. They work just fine. So if you or your friends have just like a pack of tokens, then you can go ahead and make one of these decks. Now, what the game mode is you and your friends cooperatively surviving against this deck of cards that plays constantly, and I'll kind of show that in a little bit. But just to give some basic stats, the Zombie Horde deck is made up of 25 cards per person playing, the survivors, so to speak. So for example, one player, this is a 25 card deck. If there were two players playing, it would be a 50 card deck. And if there were three players playing, it would be 75, and so on. Now, the thing is, the Horde can't block, and you'll kind of see why in a little bit. But when it actually takes damage, the Horde deck just discards cards. So the cards that are in the deck act as the sort of life for the deck. Now, unlike the Horde deck, you play with your normal 20 life, but in the case that you're playing with your friends, that 20 life is actually pulled together. So for example, if you were playing with 4 friends, you would get 20 mana per person for a total of 80 life that you'll actually use. And not only is that sort of pulled together, but your creatures can actually be used collectively as well. So for example, if I were to just demonstrate, so like let's say I have these 4 zombie tokens out on the field, and let's say player 1 has these 2 creatures, player 2 has these 2 creatures, and these guys are all attacking because that's how the Horde works. You can actually collectively, even if these would be focusing player 1, for example, you can actually block, player 1 can block the 2 of the attackers, and then player 2 can block the other 2 attackers. And even, okay, so let's say there's 1 extra token, and then these guys go ahead and block these 2 tokens, and this creature blocks this token. This can then be, well, this would get by to the collective player pool, where it doesn't target a specific player. It just, you know, the life is all collective, so it's just one source of life that this will be attacking. But that's kind of what you can do to work cooperatively, and it is a lot easier in multiplayer versus solo, because in solo you are relying almost solely on your ability to get very early cost creatures out quickly, because these guys, the way that the Horde actually spawns creatures is that it will keep playing these token cards. These are upside down, I believe. Yeah, alright, so let's turn the source side up. So these will, the Horde will keep playing token cards until it runs into an actual magic spell card. So for example, we've got 2. This is a bird soldier. That's the weirdest token. But anyway, it's a 1/1 flying, and we've got a 1/1 flying. So these 2 tokens are out there, and if there were, you know, more tokens, it would just keep playing those tokens until it runs into a regular card. And usually the Horde deck is made up of 60% tokens, 40% regular cards. Now, the regular cards you can customize to be whatever you want. But you have to keep in mind that the Horde deck is randomized, like there isn't a player controlling it. So for example, if you had a magic card in here that said choose target player to deal X damage, that would not be the best sort of card, unless, I mean, if it was like something like a lightning bolt, like that damage would just directly go to the collective player life pool. But, you know, having the deck make intelligent decisions is not something that it can do, because it is just kind of a mindless sort of randomized deck. Yeah, alright. So typically people run like black spells, a lot of like return from the graveyard spells, because it's kind of keeping in theme with the Horde deck, which is supposed to be like zombies and like you're in a zombie apocalypse and whatever. So if you want to roleplay that, go ahead. Otherwise, you could roleplay like all like green beast tokens or something. You can have like a forest roleplay. Like you can do whatever you want. But for this example, we're just going to be playing with the the zombie deck, except that some zombies happen to be flying, like this white spirit card or bird soldier, whatever. So anyway, as I was getting at before, so I drew a Singer Vampire, or Senger, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. So it's a flying. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Singer Vampire this turn dies, put a 1/1 counter on Singer Vampire. This is a very, very dangerous card because in my specific green-white deck, which I'll be using for this video, I don't have a lot of reach and I don't have a lot of flyers. Well, I have a couple of flyers, but this guy tends to get by a lot because he's flying. And so he is a consistent source of large damage. Typically 4 damage is pretty large for a Horde deck, where like 50% of the tokens are typically like 1/1, but I do have like some dragon tokens in here, like a dragon, there's a 6/6. There's just kind of a variety, to be honest, like a Minotaur 2/3. It's just kind of a random assortment of my tokens that I happen to have. Anyway, so 4/4 is typically a very large damage output. And not only that is when any creature, and I'm going to say creatures also count, or tokens also count as creatures for this card. So when any creature or token dies, this card gets pumped even more. So this guy becomes incredibly dangerous. At almost any point in the game. He's very good for early damage, and he's very, very good late game because he'll be pumped and he'll have consistent damage. Now, typically how the Horde works is that you have some time to prepare against this massive collection of creatures. You can actually sort of increase or decrease the difficulty of the game based on your preparation time. So typically what I do for solo is I'll have actually I'm going to shuffle this first. I'll have 2 turns to actually prepare and get some mana down and possibly some creatures, maybe some mana ramp before the Horde actually arrives. And if you want to have, for example, like a really easy game among your friends, you can go ahead and make that like 4 turns, for example, because if you get 4 mana out there with some mana ramp, maybe you got some tough creatures, that would make for, depending on the cards that you have, if they're good or not, you can definitely change the difficulty that way. What I found is that typically playing solo, because it's just a little bit more hard solo, and I don't give myself much leg room, I only do 2 turns of preparation, I typically only win against the Horde maybe like 20% of the time. So let's see what I get for my starting draw here. Let's see, number 6 and number 7. Alright, so we have a Forest and a Plains, a Staff of the Wild Magus, which whenever I cast a green spell or a force enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. A Terra Stomper, which is an 8/8 for 6 with trample, and it can't be countered. Giant Growth, +3/+3 for a 1 cost. Tree of Redemption, 013 for a 4 cost, and then another Forest, which will actually move over here. So I was actually really lucky on this initial hand. This is actually a really good hand, because what I have here is I have some consistent mana, so I've got 3 mana in my hand. I have a Tree of Redemption, which can block pretty much everything. It doesn't have reach, so it can't block flyers, but it's an 013, so this can block literally anything. And if I get below 13 health, I can tap this and swap my life total and toughness with this card. So, for example, if I have 6 health, I can go ahead and tap this and get 13 health again, but this will have a 6 toughness, which is still pretty decent. And I'll actually move that. I also have some sort of sustain with Staff of the Wild Magus. I can go ahead and keep gaining some life back. The only thing is it's a 3 cost, so I don't know if I'm going to actually want to play this instead of something like Tree of Redemption or like my Terra Stomper. But what I don't like is that I don't actually have any mana ramp. So my first 2 turns I'm actually going to just play a Forest because that's all I have. And then I'll just play, I guess, Plains. Actually no. So let's see. So actually let me just. Okay, so I'll take this a little bit slower. So I'll play a Forest on my first turn, and on your first turn you don't draw in typical Magic fashion. So on my second turn I will go ahead and draw, and I get another Staff of the Wild Magus, which does not help me that much, to be honest. But I'll go ahead and play a Plains on my second turn, and I'm going to have to take every single thing that the Horde throws at me for this turn. That's not good. That's really not good. This is immediately I drew a dragon flying 6/6. You know what? We're going to send this guy to the bottom of the deck simply for the sake of this video because I will not survive 3 turns with that thing on the field. I have no reach or anything. So this is just really difficult. So instead, we'll draw a Spirit. It is a flying 1/1. This guy is a 2/2. This is a flying 1/1. This is a flying 1/1. Oh my gosh. This is a 1/1. This is a 1/1. So, okay. So, you get turns like this where there are like 6 tokens in a row. And this is when playing Horde just really sucks. Like, this is when it's just not fun. So, tell you what. Like, once again, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take full responsibility for cheating. I'm actually going to send these guys to the bottom of the deck and go ahead and reshuffle. Just for the sake of the video, to make it at least, like, entertaining so I have at least a fighting chance. Oh my gosh, I can't shuffle today. I'll just do this the old-fashioned way. This is really bad. On my first take of actually recording this video, the very first, for my example, I actually had 8 tokens in a row, so that was pretty ridiculous. But that was at least an example. On this actual match, oops, I got 6, which that actually sucks. Most of those guys are flying too, which really does not help. Okay, so shuffle it a little bit more. All right, reset. Okay, flying 1/1, flying 1/1. 1/1, 0/1, a 1/1, okay, whatever, I'll just play with 5 then. I'm totally not going to survive this. This is why playing Horde is really hard. There's just such an onslaught of creatures. And then I'll go ahead and draw a Grey Merchant of Asphodel for the Horde, and what this does is that when it's drawn, when it enters the battlefield, I would lose X life, and the Horde would gain X life, where X is the devotion to the Horde's black. Now, if this were late game, this card would be a lot more dangerous, but currently there is no devotion to black on the field at all, so I'll just go ahead and place this guy. Now, oh man, this sucks so much, dude. I'm not going to even survive past like 2 turns. All right, so I don't have a spin down, so I'm just going to instead keep track of my calculator. Put in 20. All right, so. Alright, so I have to take all of this. So the thing about the Horde is that each creature has haste, and each creature has to attack if it can on every single turn. So this is a flying 1/1, flying 1/1, 1/1, 0/1. I don't even know why this guy's here. Yeah. 1/1, 2/4. So I obviously can't block any of these, but even if I did at a creature, I couldn't block these flying cards. So instead, I will actually take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I am down to, oops, 14 health. You can see there. And I will hope to actually draw either some ramp or some, not a giant growth. That's not good at all. Okay, so I guess I'll play a forest right there, and I'll go ahead and cast a Staff of the Wild Magus, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so whenever I cast a green spell or a forest enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. So I have 2 giant growths here in my hand. Get that in frame. Tree of Redemption, Terra Stomper, and then another staff. So maybe if I can't draw a very large card on my next turn, I can maybe get by playing another staff, but I doubt I'll even survive this match just because I have no creatures on the board at this point. It's usually best to have like at least 2 creatures at this point versus like 6 creatures that he has right now. So this is pretty ridiculous. Alright, so oh my god. Falconwreath Noble, this is a really good black creature. He's a flying 2/2. Whenever Falconwreath Noble or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that means that I will lose a life for any time any token dies, and he will gain, well, yeah. Alright, so I'll have to lose that life, and he's going to go ahead and gain a card, put it back in the deck from his graveyard, which we'll designate will be this area right here. So this sucks a lot. And I'm going to take 8. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually move him into view a little bit more. So I'm at 6 health. Yeah, alright. Even with just a miracle draw right now, like, I don't know how I can possibly survive. We've got a Loxodon Smiter. Okay. No more land in my hand, so this is really sucking at the moment. These untap, these untap, these untap. I think I'll actually die. Like, it's already determined, because even if I would get down, for example... No, well, yeah, I can't play my Tree of Redemption, so I can't get 13 health by swapping the toughness with my life with this. And Giant Growth won't help me at all. I can... Even if I play my Loxodon Smiter... let's see... Even if I play my Loxodon Smiter, I can only block one of these cards. So, for example, let's just play this out. Even if this card were to... Let's say all of these attacked. I would block this creature. This card would die. Which I would then lose a life, and he would gain a life. And then these guys would all attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that would put me at 0 right away. So... I'm actually dead. I actually concede against the Horde. Now, I mean, that really wasn't an exciting match, but that's the thing, is that the Horde is so powerful, and I think I actually have this set up a little bit more too difficult. I think I should maybe give myself at least, like, 3 turns, for example, to actually set up against the Horde, and that was a very difficult match in particular. In fact, I'm actually going to play another just to see how I can actually do. So I'm going to give myself 3 turns this time. Alright, so we've got Rampant Growth, which is some mana ramp, and Armada Worm, which gives me 2 5/5 tokens. We've got a Heroes Remembered, which gives me 20 life for a 9 cost, or I can suspend it for 10. Now the thing about this card is that in normal Magic, this card would actually be viable, because you can maybe last 10 turns, but in Horde, you typically don't last for even 5 turns, to be honest, just because there's so much. Let's see. Alright, so we've got another Rampant Growth. We've got a Yeva's Natured Herald, and I have no land. So I'm going to have to mulligan this down to 6. Alright, we got a Plains, we got a Forest, we've got another Heroes Remembered, we've got a Forest, we've got a Heroes Remembered, we've got a Forest, we've got a Mages of the Vineyard. Wow, this is really, really bad. This is really bad. What I can hope for is to draw something huge if I decide to keep. Otherwise, just for the sake of the video, I think I might just mulligan again, but keep my 6 so that I at least stand a chance against this deck. So Plains, Forest, Mages, Here's Remembered. So turn 1, I'll play a Forest, and then I'll play Mages of the Vineyard. So I'll have 3 mana on turn 2. I'll play another Forest. Let's see. I want to cheat and look at, like, the next cards of my deck, because, I mean, I am playing against just a deck. Like, it's not like I'm cheating playing against another player. But I think what I'll actually do is I'll just mulligan down to 6. Not down to 6, but 6 cards still, just for the sake of the video, so that there's actually a somewhat exciting match going on. Alright, this is looking pretty good so far. Alright, so let me just organize this, and then I'll kind of show what I have. Alright, so we have a Plains, 3 Forests, so some pretty consistent mana, Mages of the Vineyard, which gives me a lot more mana, a Revive, which restores a creature from my graveyard to my hand or to the battlefield, one of the two, and then I have a Wolfear Silverheart, which is a 4/4 for 5. But this actually, if it's soul bonded, which means it just links to a card on the field, basically as long as this card and another card are on the field together, this becomes an 8/8, and the other creature gets buffed to +4/+4. So that's amazing, and if I can get this guy out with another creature, that will be awesome. But I'm going to actually keep this hand, and I'm going to give myself 3 turns, so a little bit more preparation time for this match in particular. So I'll go ahead and play a forest on my first turn. Once again, not drawing in typical Magic style. I'll play a Mages of the Vineyard. I will then end my turn there. So I'm going to draw for my second turn. I've got another Wolfir Silverheart. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, if I pair two Wolfir Silverhearts together, these guys will be 12 12s together. That is going to be amazing. I think I'm really looking forward to this. I can totally, if I swing with both of those cards, I can basically kill this in one swing, because this is 25 cards, and some cards will be on the field because they'll have taken damage or taken damage by laying down cards. That's kind of how the Horde works. So I will actually play another forest, and I can't do anything, so I'll give myself one more turn here, and I'll be able to have a Silverheart on the field by turn 3. And I draw forest. All right. So I'll play a plains just for some variety. All right. So then I will have 5 mana in my pool, so I'll actually tap these. All right, so tap these for 5 because I have 5 mana in my mana pool. Play a Wolfir Silverheart. So he's on the field. He's ready to block some creatures. So then we'll go ahead and move to the Horde's turn. So only one token, a little bit lucky this time. But it is a 2/2, but it's just a regular 2/2, no special abilities. And then I drew a Returned Centaur, which whenever it enters a battlefield, target player, which is me, puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So this is actually a good card for this instance, because we'll go ahead. So like, I know these cards are in my graveyard now, and I happen to have a revive in my hand, which restores one of these creatures to my hand. So I actually get my choice of which card of, like, if I wanted to pay the 2 mana for that, which one of these creatures I would want in my hand, which I would actually pick a Vorapede, because it just, like, Aegis Angel gives creatures Indestruct, which is not very valuable, at least against the Horde. So this will probably be the creature that I'm going to pick, and I'll actually put him on the top there and place these in my graveyard there. We'll just keep it sort of in view right there. And then these guys have haste, and they're going to attack because they are able to. So I'm going to end up having 4 damage sent my way, so I will actually go ahead and block the wolf here, and this guy will go ahead and go into the graveyard, which I'll actually designate as this area right here, whatever. It's kind of hard with this little table. You're not out of space really quickly. But, okay, so this guy is tapped, and that's awesome. So now he is done. Oh, and I will end up taking 2. So if we go, alright, so I started out with 20 life, which I'm actually keeping track of my calculator, because I have a spin down, but it's not, like, it's under my camera at the moment, so I'd have to move the actual webcam to get it. But I'll end up taking 2, and I'll go to 18. Now, this is about as good as you can get facing the Horde, because I'm about to get 2... Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I drew another Wolfir Silverheart. So, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So I'm about to get 2 12/12s on the board. So I'll go ahead and untap these guys, and then tap them again. And I'll use up the 2 green mana in my mana pool from Mages of the Vineyard to cast another Wolfir Silverheart. And okay, so these are going to be soul bonded with each other. So what that means is that each one of them becomes an 8/8, because that's how they work. Whenever it becomes soul bonded, each creature gets +4/+4. So these are an 8/8 for half of the ability, and then the other creature gets another +4/+4. So currently these have +8/+8 on both of them. So currently they're 12/12. And I think I'll actually go ahead and win in the next turn, because I can't play this Wolfir Silverheart because of Summoning Sickness. So I will instead swing with this guy, and actually my Mages 2. The unique thing about playing against the Horde is that they can't block, because every single creature is tapped, like, all the time, because every single turn it has to attack. So I'll just go ahead and swing with 13. So if we go ahead and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, let me recount that. I don't think I counted that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Put these guys in the graveyard, and it so happens that we happen to discard a Singer Vampire here. So we got rid of him. Not gonna have to face him. And now it is the Horde's turn. So this guy untaps the 2/4, and I drew a Rotfeaster Maggot. So when he enters the battlefield, it says exile target creature from a graveyard, and you gain life equal to that card's toughness. So I will give the Horde the benefit of the doubt, and it is going to go ahead and exile the card with the best toughness in the game right now. So far I see Singer Vampire with a 4 toughness. Oh, here we go, Dragon. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and exile this Dragon. And the Horde is going to gain 6 cards back to its deck. And I will go ahead, I'll take it from the top. Let's see, what did I say? He had a 6/6, so he gains these 4 cards back. And then we'll go ahead and shuffle them into the deck. We'll shuffle over here in what limited space that we have. Alright. So getting the Horde ready to go, mix this up a little bit more. Because I'm pretty sure I'm just going to win the next turn, like straight up. But these cards will then attack because they have haste. So this will be 3 damage and then 5 damage, which I will actually block the 3/5 with my Wolfear Silverheart, which is a 12/12. So this guy gets destroyed. And nothing else happens. I guess I'll take the other 2 because I have no other blockers. So I'll go down to 16. 16 right there. So if we go back to my hand here, what I have is 2 Forest, another Wolfear Silverheart, and a Revive. So I will go ahead and draw, and I have Advent of the Worm. And I will, I think I'll probably just play another Wolfear Silverheart. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see. So these are untapped. I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll actually just go ahead and play Advent of the Worm. So what this instant does is it gives me a 5/5 green worm creature with trample onto the battlefield. So we'll go ahead and put that in the deck. And this will say, I happen to be using all of my tokens at the moment. So we'll say this is a 5/5. It's not a 5/5, but it's a dragon, so it's close to a 5/5. And it doesn't have flying. And it has trample, so yeah. Alright, so I'll actually go ahead and play a Plains. I totally forgot to do that. Or I mean a Forest, I am just confused. And that will actually, I'll say that I used up this one. So I have 2 mana still in my mana pool if I really want to, which I will then cast this Revive off of that 2 mana because of Mages of the Vineyard, and bring a Vorapede into my hand. Not that it's going to matter because I'm pretty much going to end the game this turn anyway. So I'll bring a Vorapede into my hand. Oops, there we go. And then I will actually go ahead and just swing with these guys. So these are both 12/12s attacking. He can't block. So I think this deck is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, upside down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cards go into the graveyard. And the last card on the field, which you do have to clear the field, by the way, after the deck is done, this card gets destroyed as well, because it's the only target left. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, facing the Horde, that was about as good of a match that you could possibly have. I happened to draw exactly the right combination of cards at exactly the right time. So, but with a lot of cheating, mind you, I totally mulliganed like 3 times and just straight up cheated on that mulligan down to 6. I was supposed to be at 5, but anyway, that is playing against the Horde in Magic the Gathering. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to try this with your friends. It's a super fun game mode, super fun, or it's just a really good break from the usual sort of PvP that you might be used to with all of your friends or at FNM Friday Night Magic. So that is the video. So thank you all for watching. If you could leave a rating, then that would be so much appreciated. And if you are not subscribed already, then feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.